Okay, listen, I'm going to share with you something that is probably going to save you thousands of missed opportunities, years of worrying about why you're not being able to progress, why you're not getting to the place where you want to be, why you're not reaching your goals. If you feel stuck, and if you feel stuck in your job, if you feel stuck in your relationship, if you feel stuck in your business, then this video is for you. I've been there myself. I've tried every strategy out there, which is how to get unstuck. And I think I have a working solution. I'm not going to call it some kind of secret formula or something like that, but I think it's a working solution on how to get unstuck and really move forward in your career, in your business, and in your life. And in the next minutes, we're going to explore how you can use a very simple system which allows you to understand exactly where you stand right now so that you can move on to the next level. On to the topic. I'm going to walk through these rocks carefully, try not to kill myself. I don't know if any of you are fans of Tony Robbins, but Tony Robbins often uses a quote, which is actually a quote from another guy called Peter Drucker. And he famously said that whatever gets measured gets managed. And I think that actually the better way to say it and to understand it is that whatever gets managed gets fixed or gets moved further along. Whatever gets measured is where you have progress, okay? So let's break this down real quick. First of all, when we start measuring something, we start paying more attention to it. And measuring our progress helps us stay accountable to what we're trying to achieve. Knowing where we are helps us make better choices and be more conscious of where we're going and how further along are we along this route. A very simple example, and this is something that I've done in my life personally, is when you start tracking your calories, is usually when you actually start making progress towards your dream physique. And there's a lot of studies that are linking calorie counting or measuring what you eat, keeping track of what you eat, to weight loss, and successful weight loss, that is. So can you think of something or a situation in your life where you've actually been able to make a lot of progress once you started measuring how further along are you with your journey? And let's talk about another entrepreneur. His name is Adam Newman. For those of you that don't know, he's the famous founder of WeWork, which kind of crashed spectacularly at some point. But Adam Newman was able to get out of the business and actually start a new company. And I recently saw an interview with him regarding his new company, which is called Flow. The interview was about a very different topic, but what he said was that we are only 170 employees. Now, for most of us, 170 employees is actually a lot of people. But for him, having already done WeWork and developed it to the size that it was before it started going down, for him, 170 people is actually a very small company. What does this mean? Why am I bringing this up? So as we grow, the stuff that seems normal, the stuff that seems big, the stuff that seems small, changes. So as you progress, your bottom line for measurement also changes. And this is important to remember because what seems big now won't always be big if you keep growing. Comparing it to climbing a mountain or climbing these stairs that I just climbed right now. From the bottom, sometimes it looks like the top is very far away. But actually, as you keep going up the mountain, the top starts seeming like it's not that far away. It starts seeming more attainable. It starts seeming like something that you can actually get to. And this applies to personal growth too. The important point here is as you grow further along, to keep setting bigger goals, to keep setting your expectations a little bit higher than what they used to be if you want to keep growing. Let me share a story about a friend of mine who recently, they were looking for a new job. They were looking to change their job, their position, and also change the company that they work in. And when I took a look at the CV and also when I realized the job applications that were being sent, there was a major mismatch between what the candidate had to offer and what these companies were looking for. So the companies where the applications were being sent to were looking for top tier players, and this candidate was obviously not one of them. And unfortunately, during our conversations, it was apparent that this misjudgment is not just by accident, but it's actually real. This person was not assessing properly what their level is, what jobs they can apply to successfully. And this is the connection to our topic of today, which is this person clearly had no idea where they stand on the market, on the competitive market of job applications. So it was very clear that this person was setting their bar way too high. These jobs were clearly a big jump for that person. And unfortunately, when we spoke, they didn't really like what I had to say. But yeah, I think that was the honest truth for their situation. So now let's connect the two. So first of all is a strategy for measuring, and measuring what matters for us as a person, as a business, as a spouse, whatever the case might be, how our measurement sticks change over time, okay? Initially, we start at one level, and then potentially once we keep going, the way we measure things and what we measure also changes, not just the numbers. Your most important tool is the things that you choose to measure. As you evolve, as you grow, the metrics change. The way you measure things change. What you measure changes, but it's important that you keep improving this process. You keep evolving as you evolve in your career, in your business, whatever else you choose to use this system for. So keep measuring, keep growing. Don't forget that things will change, and this is okay. And this is actually what you want, because otherwise, once you stop changing, once you stop moving, your progress also stops. And this is exactly what we're trying to avoid. Okay, so if we want to compare this to starting, let's say you want to start going to the gym, you want to start getting in better shape. Initially, you have no idea what exercise to do, you have no idea what to measure, and you also are not very good at doing the things that you're there for. But once you get going and you start improving, the only way to know that you are improving is to actually measure your success. Initially, you might just do it in your head. You know that the first time you went to the gym, you were able to do 10 reps with, let's say, 20 kilos. And then the next time you went to the gym, you were able to do 12 reps with 20 kilos. So initially, you can keep track of those things in your head, but at some point, you need to start measuring them properly. Once you start progressing, you start measuring more things. You start measuring your heart rate. You start measuring the length of your breaks between sets, and many different other things, which are, of course, related to your progress as you get better at the gym. And it's the same thing with everything else. Okay, and now let me share with you a little personal story on that note. And the story goes, when I was a teenager, when I was in high school, I was actually one of the top performers in my class in the year that I was in school. It actually didn't cost me too much. I wasn't really having to study too much. I didn't have to prepare too much. It was just easy for me. So I thought it's always gonna be like that, right? That's because I had nothing else to measure myself with. That was the only meaningful thing I knew. But things changed dramatically once I got to university. There were people that were actually further ahead of me. And obviously, this changed things a lot in terms of perspective, in terms of what I can actually do compared to others. I went through a little bit of a, let's say, depressed moment because of that. But then thankfully, I was able to snap out of it. And I realized that I can still change. I can still compete at the top level. I just need to do more, just increase my level and start measuring myself on a much higher level than what I used to before. As we stand here on this beautiful rock, we have the sun setting to this side. We have waves crashing below us, and I actually have people jumping in the water on the other side of this rock. I just wanted to share my thoughts on the fact that our human species, as humans, we are made to face challenges. We're not made for comfort. Comfort only came in the, most recent 100 years. We didn't have comfort before that. We still haven't evolved for comfort. We're still a species that is made to thrive in challenges. That's why we are where we are right now, because we are good at facing challenges. And this is actually something that we need if we want to move forward. Again, relating to the topic of the video, which is measurement, and keep raising the bar for what you measure. As a species, as humans, we are made to be challenged. Face this opportunity with a little bit of, how to say, excitement, a little bit of fear maybe, but also a little bit of discovery of the fact that your better self is waiting for you, maybe on the other side of this step that you don't want to take, on this phone call that you don't want to make, on this email that you don't want to send. Maybe it's right there. So just take the step and let me know how it goes in the comments. That's it for this video, and thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.